It's more just to determine whether or not that's. It's determining allocation. It's not, it's just more whether or not. They diligence or low. Low. Are you on the floor? Raíces?
Was.
Oh, I just, forget. You want me to give them? No, listen, use the Microsoft, just to make sure that everyone can hear us. I mean, the program can make into water for 3. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? In favor? The meeting minutes from October 9th. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes? All those in favor? On to public comment at this time, comment from the audience, meeting of. Interest and which is the big your state. The committee have the policy of computer not when presentation not take action on items not listed in the agenda. The input may be offered. May come no for discussion and work. Is there any public comments? There are no public comments. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear us okay. Alejandro's joining us right now. Alejandro, can you hear us okay?
I could hear you loud and clearly.
Perfect, yay. Wait on it.
No.
We'll move on to the executive officer report. Move on to the past, program update, number one, progress and financial report update, I believe information. Any other questions regarding the information provided? On to number two, grant application status report, also included in the pack. Any questions regarding the grant application status? We move on to number three, the grant payment schedule. Also located in the packet. Does anyone have any questions regarding the information provided? Move on to visual health support. Any request total up to 250,000 for 2 years.
So, as you can see from the staff report, we had, we issued the RFP for empowering resilient youth and their families, advancing mental and behavioral health support. You can see the dates that we released it, closed, reviewed it, our core program team, including program and fiscal staff. The 3 strategies that we're asking the kids to teams. And you see we have 5 that we did our. You can see we have 5 that met all the requirements and more, and we're doing the committee reviewed it and and we will have all of the grantees represented this year. And I didn't know if you want
When you must see such a really it's not to be you can be, you know. So but what I like about it is it's really spread out. Right? It's targeting really specific issues. Maybe we could be against these.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do thought about it.
that's the point that we're doing a few new ones. And we run these big circles.
It's still really well established.
Yes.
Then I could do people energy requirement.
We need to do a roll call or monitor.
Yeah, right. If you can speak more with the microphone, like hearing.
Can you give a roll call, please, Andrea?
So Chair Palacio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yes.
Secretary Glass.
We'll move that one to the board for final approval. Grant number 1540, proposing goes to Cathedral City. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Roll call, Andrea?
Chair Palacio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Secretary Glass.
Move on to number 3, grant number 1544, Lake School and Neighborhood Educational Center. Is there a motion to approve? Roll call, Andrea?
Chair Palacio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yes.
And Secretary Glass.
Move on to number 4, grant number 1549, Goldsboro Institute of Media in the future. Is there a motion to approve?
Chair Palacio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Secretary Glass.
Okay, rather than be the approve of the agenda, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Roll call and Grant.
Chair Carrasco,
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Secretary Garage.
Move on to grant number 1558, Desert Cancer Foundation Patient Assistance Program for $326,000 for 2-year grant terms. Information was provided in the packet. Are there any questions regarding information provided?
I just want to mention that 1 and 2 are part of the loan. The other one's not part of the RFP is part of the regular loan. The Cancer Foundation was efficient. No, not renewals, just being the rolling grants.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And right.
Yeah, if I may add, sorry. The Desert Cancer Foundation has been doing great work with some of our participants from the women wellness clinics. They have been recipients of some of that support. Some of the women that we have encountered that need additional screenings and support, that have participated in one of our mammography screening events.
We do represent patients. You can certainly do this in question.
Is there any questions? There are no people.
Chair Carrasco,
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Chair Garage.
Move on to grant number 1535, Failure to Learn. The information was provided in the past. Are there any questions regarding the information provided? Very motion to approve.
Probably should ask the public comment. Probably should move on.
Are there any public comments regarding this grant?
There is. Jamie, go ahead.
Hi, hey everybody. I just need to let everybody know the participants in the webinar, we can't hear y'all. It's so faint I can't even make out which grant is being discussed. I don't know if there's another microphone that could be used, but sorry, it's just a little difficult to follow on what's happening.
Okay, can you hear us better?
Oh, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay, so
Just think of it, it's the end of the microphone. But wait, I'll wait.
Okay, we're currently on grant number 1535, Vision to Learn.
Oh, perfect timing then. Thank you, everybody. I'm the National Director of Vision to Learn, here to answer any questions you may have about the grant. I'll wait and see if folks have questions.
Is there any question?
Second.
Okay, roll call, Andrea?
Chair Carrasco,
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Chair Garage.
Yes. Okay, we'll forward that one to the board for finance and law. Thank you. We'll move on to number 3, grant number 1555 for the agenda. Healthcare Memory Care Outreach. Event to behavioral health, wellness, and connections for seniors across the Coachella Valley. 150,000 over a 2-year term. This one is labeled for discussion and direction. So what we did is it show that we put in, just for your reference, we put in the grant-making process of the board that the different processes were high priority, strategic plan goals, and non-priority. This one was, even though they did
One high priorities, they also one of the non-priorities, I think the staff report, we've had a lot of concerns about this particular request. And we are recommending you have, as we speak. Any reasons, in the same. Would you tell like your top two reasons for degradation and the learning? But the fact that it really didn't align, it doesn't align with, they say they chose full number three, but it doesn't really align with the mental health strategies and the performance strategies, so there's nothing evidence-based practices for that. They are, it's more of a one-time people visit nature-based wellness program. They put the city and the city and the so again, we want to performance centers for that. And then they are more emphasizing patient-based activities. And it kind of limits the sort of funding for evidence-based behavioral health services. And in the same with the structure, same way. We also are very concerned about the inclusion of monitoring directions and taking over the building savings. Yeah, what they also there's the van, there's the tour. Then there's the space. People. Okay, and it's just not. Correction to in the future they would like to 5%, something that I'm mostly with our Christian goals.
I'll second that. My only other comments would be that there are a lot of outreach efforts, especially with seniors in the valley, and so would recommend that they get in contact like with our UHS behavioral health, our adult protective services provision within the counties, and so maybe partner with them. And the goals that they have are admirable, but I agree with staff's recommendation that I don't think it fits within the direction of the district.
Any other comment? Well,
It would just be direction on the direction from the committee to first I recommend to the full board to reject this grant proposal.
we make a recommendation to the full board to reject this grant at this point.
Thank you for that choice of word.
Okay, we'll move on to grant number 1560, live to rise, rising to the moment, elevating our region's voice for economic protection, 400,000 over a 9-month term. This one is also stable for discussion and direction. Does anyone have any questions regarding? Maybe scroll down to the staff recommendations, there's some options. Program, we put in this request forward to the board with recommendation that's in the grant process of the benefits. Also, hey, this doesn't mean that which is what in the grant process for, currently they with the Raíces and will be grant us. Housing, grant, foods on the mistakes. Members reports. I would like to review the grants. See if there's anything that overlaps with the strategy. Great. And, changes, you don't find it right now, wait till your strategic plan is created in May. This request for lines for goals. Wanted us to mention that. Be aware of speed information is.
I'm going to recommend that we have staff further look into this. A lot has happened, I think, even since this application was put in. I actually think it does align with goal 2 on access. There's a lot of miscommunication, not just in California, but throughout the country on what the current administration is doing around Med-Cal, around insurance benefits, around vaccinations, around health and human services direction, ICE activities, and the community, especially in the Coachella Valley and in this district. I sit on our county executive board, and we're seeing people afraid to community clinics and very much with others. And I really believe there's a lack of communication on that, and I think this is timely. I do think this will meet within the goals of our strategic plan. I also think that it meets our goal 6 as a top priority in being responsive to community needs. And so that would be my motion, is to direct staff to further the due diligence process.
And if I may, currently goal 6 is not high priority in our strategic plans. Actually, forgive me. I was thinking, forgive me. We did elevate that, so forgetting. With regard, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor? Do we have the public comment on grant, to write grant?
If I can. I'm very curious. I'm the CEO of Reíces. I'm here for the public, State Forest. Maybe just to address a couple of the comments in Director Rodriguez, and you alluded to this also. We've done robust community listening, not just across the last 6 months, but over 10 years. And many of the points that Director Rodriguez elevated. We also looked into the notes that staff provided about potential duplication. I think of our current grant award, which has been a 3-year award, and like Don mentioned, it includes in the spring. Every time we come to the district and ask for resources, is to get ahead of the curve and multiply what's happening and be able to leverage intervention. All the points that you made, Director Rodriguez, we saw during the pandemic, everyone here was acutely aware, as guys like a lot of COVID response, when there was misinformation about vaccines, and when people didn't understand what was happening, got compounded and made things worse. Right now, like you mentioned, every single day we're seeing cuts to federal and state programs. Residents don't know how to navigate. There's absolutely no way any community listening, you're not going to hear the number one central social determinant of health is people's economic restriction, which is tied to their housing. So we appreciate the direction to continue to look into this. I would say residents don't have any time right now. The faster that we move and the faster that we push to be able to coordinate and connect folks, you're losing ground sort of on all levels, both like you mentioned, for people's fear of immigration, through the lack of our voice being represented in lots of places. So I understand the concern. There could be duplication. There's a really strong distinction between the first and the second grant space.
Thank you. Are there any other public comment? All those in favor of recommending further review of this grant? Okay, aye. Aye. We'll leave it.
It's not gonna work, it's not gonna work.
Yes. Move on to number 5, grant number 1562, Martha's Village in Kitchen, Valley High.
I want to do this so what we're doing is moving to the board, for the board and we'll decide to move forward with due diligence. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, grant number 1562, Martha's Village in Kitchen, Valley High Homeless Housing and Employment Services Expansion. 586,889 over a 2-year term. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Well, once this, one of the ones we're asking the program committee to discuss and evaluate it. Whether we should continue the due diligence or not. It's. Well, my first goals, full 5 and 7. We made the same recommendations that we made. This forward. Well, it's not, it's just. This 5 goals or.
I have a question first on when was the grant submitted? Or grant request submitted? So full disclosure, I sit on the board of Martha's, but since you're allocating any money, there's no need for me to excuse myself. My recommendation would be that, I'm trying to figure this out. That be prefaces with some information that Martha's has just recently hired a new CEO. Who's incredible. And if it's okay, Chris, I don't know, I would like to have a conversation with her about if this is still a priority. We need to get legal response from Jeff, but I don't see it as a conflict. I agree that it doesn't fit within the priority structure of the district. I also think there might be some other opportunities again to partner with, say, workforce development and other organizations that deal with workforce improvement that they may be able to get other funding from. Primarily because it's not one of the high priorities, because they think there might be other opportunities. I do think too, as we look into, but as we're developing our strategic action plan, I think you all know I'm going to advocate for some housing and homeless points within that. The workforce might be a component of that. So I would recommend that we wait till we do our 5-year strategic action plan. So I would make that motion to the board. And then at least keep in contact and keep the dialogue going with Martha's Village in the Kitchen, so that we can make sure that if they apply, it aligns right with the priorities that we have. If that makes sense. Yeah, it's fine, but to basically reevaluate after we've come up with our 5-year strategic action.
For there to be like a continuing diligence of work being done, or just completely target until future.
Yeah, I guess that's actually where I'm confused, and I know maybe we need to talk to that more. Because I would still like for us to have dialogue with them, and that doesn't mean we would necessarily wait till the 5-year plan is done.
We can ask to withdraw. and withdraw it, and we can, you still have to come back to the concept later on. Not the, yes, it's.
But would dialogue still be appropriate with either myself or maybe I do recommend that we stat test too separate.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
And one of the things, it's kind of almost a continuation of a grant that they closed with us. And one of the things we had concerns with, because we had given them funds still, but there's a hot springs and a new office, and they closed.
Okay, that's good.
So we were kind of like, okay, now what are you gonna be doing? You're talking about whole group of the desert hot springs in Memphis, so yeah. Again, we can talk with anything because we just looked at right away as a kind of high priority, so. Yeah, this is why we have these board businesses, if it's not like everything.
Yeah, yeah, and the background information is good, so. Yeah, and I think that's what we're looking at here is seeing, these organizations come with good grants. I don't think we can question that. But that's why we established the gold and the high. And I mean, everybody can look at them as high priority goals, but the board has established goals 2, 3, and 6. That's the high priority goals. And, ones that, relate to, like housing and the other goals that like 5 and 7s and then are not high priorities. And you as the board members can distinguish whether you want to approve those, but it's whether we are going to do those now or look at those as we work through our strategic plan over the next few months. And then come back because it becomes really confusing when we look at and we internally think, okay, yeah, they're big grants, but they don't meet the high priority goals at the moment. And so, you as the directors can evaluate that, but it's again, repeating myself, but if we're bringing them to you because they don't align with the strategic goals, I think that's what we should try to comply with. But we will also abide by what the board recommend.
And to me, I don't believe that would be the most fair is for us to tell them why their new strategic plan is done, because we really don't know yet what that's gonna look like. So telling them they just will like come back later, kind of like giving them some sort of hope, and then what if we not gonna say that we're gonna include anything or that business or hustle is not gonna be priority for us, but we still don't know. So they're telling them hold off another 6 months and let's revisit. So maybe even if we just do a declination in the future, they will submit a different application and otherwise either to our current priorities, like we would welcome one. But I think we probably just please we're going to stay or we're going to stay come back after the research to take now. Just that part of it because we really still don't know what that thing goes next, so just give it a thought. Because it does not meet our priorities at the moment and based on comments, maybe we can recommend information and then if any other organization they can come back with a new grant application, then it will be nice. Priority then. Okay, so making the motion.
So I'll be.
Is there any public comment?
There are no.
I'll withdraw my motion and believe Kimberly that just made a motion. Basically. Second. Definitely.
Okay, can we get a roll call?
So, Chair Perez,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez. Chair DeRosa.
Thank you. Move on to sponsorship. The first one is begging out for COD 2026, Citizens of the Speech and Gala. Information was provided in the packet. There's the option for us to consider And also if we want to do sponsorship. They want to have any.
So I have a question, Chris, this is probably for you. And forgive me, I did leave through the back of it, let's see. Was there staff recommendations on sponsorships for each of these?
So what was decided with the policy is to bring the sponsorships for the board to committee and the board to consider and approve. So unless there was a specific amount that was requested by the organizations, we're presenting to you then all the levels. And we're providing those dollar amounts on the agenda. And then if we want to understand more, about the details, then we can go into your action proposal document.
Okay,
But we're leaving it open to you as the board members to decide first if you want to do provide a sponsorship, and then you want to.
okay.
We granted a sponsorship to the. Okay, and you don't have, so do you have the amount that we sponsored them? In previous years?
Yes, so we sponsored $10,000 last year for study.
Yeah, because.
And that was also because we were receiving an award that distinguished as part of the what was that organization that we're working with, the hospitals, the healthcare workforce roundtable.
It was 24 or 23. I think it was
24 was a year ago.
last year.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the super for the August. The next. Thank you. So you said that they did not specify the amount.
No, there's no amount specified. The intent is for you as the directors, that you are the ones that are determining the amount. And the sponsorship policy we provided at the beginning of the sponsorships there, so that we have a reference to what our requirements are, looking to essentially, align with our mission and vision.
I know that's not for this community, but at least me as a board member, we can talk about this either here or probably more in the regular board meeting. I think we should give some deference to staff to have a recommendation on the amount based on what we've given in the past. And based on how it aligns. Because there's a couple in here that completely align with what we do as a district. But it's difficult for me to just pick an arbitrary amount to sponsor.
As is for staff. And staff can get beat up, and I'd rather not get beat up. So that's why it's been left for the board to decide.
Nobody's getting beat up. We're having discussions, right? And so let's clarify that we're get beat up. So I agree with Greg. Having a more or less, I think it's important for us to get some more information as we're kind of at the level that we're at, and then that's gonna be our starting point for discussion. There's a lot of these events that are like similar, like they're from like educational organizations, schools, school districts, college. So I think I would also like to see maybe some sort of comparison, or whenever I ask questions, it's not that like just questioning your position, is so that I can understand where you're coming from, and so that I can understand how you're seeing things. And then also if there's something that I'm not privy to, or at the end I'm here for you to like change my mind, or try to not, I'm not gonna say convince me, but try to like tell me this is where the reason behind something, and then we either agree or continue with discussions. So I'm totally there with having all these somewhere where we can start from.
done thinking in the past. I'm not sure if even after reading these past few days, I mean, it's also just difficult to kind of say it. Let's go for right, and so that's why we trust our staff that they can come up and during our meetings and tell us this is where we're at, and these are the reasons. And so whatever the reasons are, right, at least having some sort of like background or reasoning behind it, and then getting that provides greater value than just saying like we don't want to do it or because you guys passed, now it's your turn to do it. I don't think that's the most effective way of doing it. If at this point you do want to decide that we do want to actually just choose, I mean, I've read the package and I know, right, if you believe that we're in a position to have this discussion for the moment, we can go ahead and do that. We have about 20 more minutes and we're gonna do that. We're meeting at 5, or do we wanna, if this is the one that we wanna work on specifically just by choosing from what we have in front of us, we wanna do that, or we should be on the questions or
So I'm comfortable going through the, to your point, reading through the packet. Again, and Chris, I get where it's coming from. But it's not easy, as you can tell from, so we're faced with the same thing as Thanos. And I think the only thing, I think really what I would like to see is just like the history that we've given before. And at what level would be really helpful. We can do our own due diligence on the ability of the organization and all that. But I'm comfortable if both of my colleagues are in recommendations for today. Just to clarify, we went at a higher level on the COD, stepping up for COD because we were being awarded. That's kind of what we, yeah, and you just want to point out and notice that was initially why we done so much. I would be happy to make the first motion on item number 1 for a silver sponsor at $1,000.
Andrea, can we get a roll call, please?
Public comment.
Yes. Do we have any public comment regarding this sponsorship?
Or no public comment. Horacio,
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Secretary Barraza.
Okay, we'll move on to Parkinson's Resource Organization, Parkinson's Today, an educational symposium. Once again, we have the different options for sponsorship.
And we did provide a $2,500 sponsorship last year.
So I would move that we approve a $2,500 sponsorship.
this one, I cannot be, sponsorship level, is it really open to the public, is it symposium? Does it include anything, tickets for me, right, reading that it says, recognition and very excited, 8 weeks conference program, look on the event website. So, if it doesn't, then maybe I would recommend that I do purchase, so that we can participate or be present. The push, the motion, if I can read. For a second, I'll put you, so we can clear.
Andrea, can we get a roll call?
Horacio.
Public comment. Is there any public comment at this time?
There is none. Horacio.
Yes.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Secretary Barraza.
And there are no, from what I'm seeing, there are no tables or pink hands. It's more just $2,500 as recognition on event signage program. Next level up. mean, you get obviously a little bit more each level that you go. This one appears not to include any table or seating. It says specific things. So,
This is symposium. This is symposium. Good service providers and other providers and understand what it's looking for these things. So we were to get a ticket. We would more just learning type of experience. Rather than it being those people thing.
Okay, so we're ready to go to that one. We'll move on to Coachella Valley Giving Day, March 3rd, 2026, presented by Guillermo Becerra, VP Relationship Bank and California Bank and Crest. Thank you, Lord.
For this one, I would like a little bit of background from staff and also chaos communication saying that usually the boards will be able to answer this and I'm not sure if there's been any direct communication, but we can get it a week.
So this was previously presented in a prior board meeting. It was determined that the any level of funding other than the $5,000 level is a pass through of the funds to elected nonprofit organizations. And our legal counsel at the time had indicated that that was the appropriate course to pass those funds through. So staff has met with representatives, indicated that we cannot pass those funds through to the organizations. And there was discussion whether we could possibly, if they could do more of like marketing on it. What I'm still not clear with is if monies that are presented as sponsorship would still be passed through to organizations, indicating that they would need to do marketing and advertising related, or if the CD giving, the bank organizations would be utilizing the resources for marketing and advertising. So, but we do have with us Guillermo Becerra that can provide us more detailed information. But I think that's what we need to understand is whatever sponsorship we provide will be used for the marketing component and ensuring that that occurs. So, and so.
And I ask the umbrella, the level that they're requesting is 2014.
Correct.
Yeah. Happy to hear from.
Good evening, as Guillermo Becerra, I'm the California Banking Trust. Well, thank you for having us here. It's Mr. Christensen and staff. I would just provide clarification directly to the question that was asked. It's a choice. If the sponsorship dollar would go would be costly nonprofits, it's not a requirement. Which is and meeting with Mr. Christensen and the sponsorship dollars that if you want to be awarded, they can be utilized to marketing and other outreach efforts and the infrastructure to be given, and they would not be used to donation to nonprofits, and we can account for that. But they would not be used to.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Is this the first year of this or?
Director Rodriguez. No, so CBD has been running for 3 years. 2020, I believe the third year. Since its inception in 2022, City given they have raised over $2 million for nonprofit providing services, specifically in Coachella. 2026 is going to be our 4th year.
And so the vast majority, looking at the budget, the vast majority is direct allocations to nonprofits, correct?
Yeah. The lump sum of it is an incentive price pool, which is money that we use to basically incentivize nonprofits and get excited They reach to their supporters so they can bring home.
Yeah. Um, it's an amazing organization. And I agree that whatever we allocate need to go directly to the marketing budget line item on this because we can't do the pass throughs. This is the first time we'd be getting, correct? Um, I don't think we're getting anything else.
Like, one or 2 points that you believe would be the greatest benefit to the district and district residents if we were to approve our recommendation to send it to the full board, of the level that you're requesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think City Meeting Day provides a unique opportunity to market east to west. Nonprofits that are registered for City Meeting Day are based out of the East Valley to the West Valley, and they assist folks across the entire spectrum. So we get an opportunity for marketing visibility and community ownership. It would be the community health champion initiative.
I believe in one of your previous emails or conversations, the initial request was 50K, and I believe there was mentioned something like you would be like, right? Sponsorship that we'd be like having had in this organization. On a lower level is the drastic change within the visibility of the district. That's for me, it's very important just because a lot of folks still do not know what the district does, and I'm also upward supporting our local nonprofits. Um, Knowing from or hearing from other nonprofits organizations, I know that they're really excited about this specific program that you run, and then you also have others that have supported you. As if I'm not mistaken, RAP was one of your like top sponsors, right, or partners. So what would be the distinction? Like I want to be sure that when we're gonna do something for marketing, like what's the difference between us going to just a marketing agency and have them help us out, right? And also understanding how much is like 25K of our money gonna like get us to like outreach and communication and just marketing in general. With this, I also understand that if we're gonna be supporting and we're gonna be your partner at this level, I do see value, right? Because it's not just helping us speak, but it's actually us helping you guys with your main help the community in return. But maybe if you could speak to that difference or maybe not like what you can give us a highlight of like what that would look like. If we recommend how this, it would go to full board for recommendation. I'm sure that they'll have questions. And I believe that nobody, right, ahead of time, like, okay, our 25K will get us here, or this is the visibility that that's trying to come out with, I think that would be very good.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably point to the main distinction between the 50K and $25,000 units. 50K, you become a partner in organizing the event, and you have a say in what marketing strategies will implement, and how will be placed in the front of the capital, and share the message activity you made. You also have the opportunity to become to get interviewed on TV, which you don't get that opportunity at the 25K level. We reserve that opportunity on the 50K level, so that's why you see RAP TV in years past. They're talking about what they do in promotion of city meeting day. So we probably point those probably be something that we're going to be benefits that we get this. Like hundreds of people, if you have to. Yes, anyway, that you can for the interest. You will hit all those points. I think the only thing you're going to say about this station is I think what you get in addition to that, what we create. You're going to be kind of tapping this. And it's just put our name. You're attached partner associated with the station in the community. And that's I think that's that additional to it. How about that the marketing side? If you are looking for marketing and then the operations,
about getting this. For us, it has to be launching what we're doing. Again, of course, I'm getting all the marketing, just to clarify. We do what we do. Is what pieces do.
Thank you. Mr. Prescott, did legal counsel identify any other precedents or any other issue with maybe reporting this?
His concern was that we could not pass the monies through to the organization. So I think that's the clarity that we need here. That the funds would be utilized the the bank level or whatever for the marketing or administrative fee level. We could not be passed on to the other nonprofit organizations. This is the past. And we do have policy that the limit is 25,000. Sponsorship still some policy as well. So
Question is CD giving data the nonprofit or does this dollars go to the bank?
No, the dollars go to the Community Foundation, and then the bank is sponsored with others.
They're like fiscal sponsor.
Our government interest, yes.
No, the
Union Basin initiative.
community foundation. With fiscal sponsor.
they're the really the primary
So
sponsor.
what the donor last time.
Yeah, exactly. Donor advice. We're the you can call us. One company.
Then if it's going directly to the bank,
So it's gonna be
city bank
or
or this bank.
it's the no
I
nation.
Like to make a recommendation to move this to full board for consideration. Like if we can get, I don't know if this would be comfort of written. I don't know what stuff would need where. You could provide, header, maybe with putting it and writing down what the money is going to be used for, just to make sure that it's going to be used. But I would order to the board for full consideration of this and that. And then, also knowing that the board might consider or might decide on a lower the sponsorship. You're recommending the 25. Yes, and then go with those, securities in place, and then in our full board meeting, we can determine at that point, after discussion, that we could do a lower than what I do want to see, that if we were to sponsor. I don't know. The reason why we sponsor events, that tell us that it's about, the value of sponsoring is the marketing aspect of it, like around 40, 35. So we've done amounts like this. So I just want to make sure that we for our full board discussion that we do have this information and that we're not going to do anything that's not people or that at the end the money is going to be used to go out there. These different things.
You're gonna second the motion, I would have probably gotten you to be honest for $10,000, just because it's time that we sponsored this. It really doesn't have a direct healthcare access, even though some of the nonprofits do. So I will second the motion though to take it to the board for full consideration. And I agree with Director Russell that we get confirmation that the money that we would allocate would go specifically to the marketing budget line item. And then specifically within either the 25,000 or the 10,000 level, what I know it's in the flyer, but what the specific benefits to the district would be.
For any public comment at this point?
There is no. Chair Palacio,
No.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Chair Duran.
Yes. Okay, so then we can forward it to the board for any discussion and approval of
And just for logistics purposes, we will be publishing our package tomorrow, so we will need a quick turnaround on those details. We'll need those by like noon tomorrow. If you quickly, would be very helpful.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 4, Brothers of the Desert, 7th Annual Wellness Summit, Building Our Collective Resilience. There are 3 different, 4 different options.
We given sponsors before, I it's $5,000 last year. I would move that we make the $5,000 on the sponsorship. And then to the board.
Yeah, right, can we get a roll call?
Chair Alessio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yes.
Secretary Velasquez.
We move on to Women's Leadership Forum of the Coachella Valley, 12th Annual Women's Role Awards. May 8, 2026. We do have 3 options if we choose to sponsor.
And we have provided $2,500 already this year.
I would move that we recommend to the board that we sponsor the $2,500.
This year.
Yes. So that this event is May of 26, so we sponsored earlier this.
Roll call and break, please.
There's no public comments, Chair Alessio,
Yeah.
Vice President Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Secretary Velasquez.
Okay, thank you. Is there any committee member comments at this time? I'll move to adjourn the meeting at 5:01 p.m. Our next scheduled meeting is January 14th, 2026, and we'll move directly into the foundation meeting.